I go to a somewhat private school. The tuition is $55K per year. Per year. Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Melanie, for those of you who are new here, and for those of you who are returning, thank you guys for coming back. I appreciate you all, I really do. Now, today's video is just a follow-up of the first video that I did on my channel, how I got into pharmacy school as an international student. A lot of you guys have reached out on Instagram, especially in my DMs, to ask me a lot of questions about how I made the transition, to ask me about the program, and just to share your concerns because you are thinking about applying to a PharmD program here in the US. Now, one of the first common concerns that a lot of you guys had was about the prerequisites. A lot of you were asking me what you needed to get into the program. You were telling me your GPA, asking if this would qualify you for a PharmD here in the US. And my answer is every school is different. Every university, every pharmacy program is going to be completely different. You are entering a pool of schools, just like, you know, students from the US, they have to sit and they have to think about which program they want to get into and look at the prerequisites that are required for that program, and then they sit these credits to enter into that program. Now you're doing the reverse. You have already sat your courses that your previous school wanted you to, and you now don't know if these credits will get you into this program. So what I would recommend that you do is, if your school has graded you on a 4.0 GPA scale, you should request your transcript, or you can go ahead and look back at all the courses that you've taken and the amount of credits that you took. You look at the school's website and look at the prerequisites that they require for this PharmD program, and you're going to compare your transcript to see if you have these credits. Now, rule of thumb, there are going to be a lot of schools within a particular state. So if you're open-minded and you just want to get into any school, I would say you can go in and you can actually Google international programs for pharmacy and see which schools pop up, because there are some universities that are going to have a specialized international program that's going to target students who are already pharmacists or students who have already completed a bachelor's of pharmacy degree. So luckily, the program that I did back home, my bachelor's, already had all of the credits that I needed to enter into this international program. So I didn't need to do any prerequisites. Also, some schools may require you to sit PCAT so that they can standardize you and see, you know, just where you fall among the rest of the students. My program also didn't need the PCAT, but it recommended taking the PCAT, which I sat, and it was atrocious. But so you just have to look at a couple programs online or schools online, see what their prerequisites are, look at your transcript, and compare and see if you have some of these credits. And if you find that there are a lot of schools that are requiring particular courses, especially if you've already searched international programs that are requiring specific courses that you didn't sit, you can always email admissions to see if there's something else that could be used, or you can use a third party evaluator. I used WES, and they will either convert your transcript to a 4.0 GPA scale if it's not already in it, or they can send to the school and let them know, you know, how your courses kind of match up, because that's how you're going to know if you qualify for the school anyway. If a third-party evaluator go ahead and assesses your transcript and they send this information to the school will then contact you and let you know what you're missing or what else is required. Now, if you apply early, if you're in early bird applications for pharmacy school, this hopefully will give you the chance to use a semester to sit the outstanding credit. Or you can always know this from earlier on and then apply in the following year. So either one could hopefully work. Now, the next question that I get asked about a lot is paying for pharmacy school. This is one of the most important things, or one of the most important decisions that you'll have to make as a pharmacy student, is, am I willing to take on so much debt? Because unless you have a trust fund, your parents are rich, you know, you have a business that's bringing in that kind of money, you're gonna have to take loans. You're going to have to take loans because the cheapest pharmacy schools that I know are like maybe $20K a year, and they're for 4 years, and that is usually in-state tuition. Now, the program that I go to, I go to a somewhat private school. The tuition is $55K per year. $55,000 per year, and I'm there for 3 years. So you do the math, because I'm too scared to do the math. So yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful thinking about the amount of money that you're spending for pharmacy school. Now, there's no way we can pay for that out of our pockets. No way. Majority of students who are in medical programs are taking loans. And that's just the reality of the situation. Pharmacy students on a whole will be taking loans. Now, international pharmacy students, when coming here, will have to take a private loan, because as a resident or citizen here in the US, you qualify for federal loans. Now, I don't qualify for federal loans because I'm on a student visa. I had to get a personal loan, and the company that I chose to go with was Discover Student Loans, because they were super easy to use. They guided me through the process. They made everything easy for me. Now, I would recommend that if you have family here, if you have friends here, the best way is to get someone to support you, split your bills. If somebody's offering to help you out, take it. Just make sure that you're comfortable, or I would say look for a pharmacy school in the vicinity of somebody that can support you, because it's going to be very difficult to support your friends. But can it be done? Of course. I know a lot of international students who come here. They don't have relatives in the area. They don't have friends. They rent an apartment, they buy a little car, and they've been going to school, and they use their loans, and it helps them through the whole journey. So if it's something that you really want to do, it definitely can be done. I have one more thing to add, which I've told everybody that has reached out to me. If you don't plan to stay in the US, or if you're not returning to a country that pays you as well as the US does, the PharmD is not worth it. Okay, baby, it's not. Now, I would say if you're not going to at least be making back your tuition per year, and that's not even enough. So I'm gonna add, if you're not making at least 80K or 70K US in the currency of the country that you're in, it makes no sense you do this PharmD, because baby, that debt is just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I've told everyone, and everyone agrees, and they said yes, they've thought about it, but I'm just reiterating. I'm just making sure that y'all know. Now, the other question a lot of people have been asking me about are scholarships. Are there scholarships for international students? How to get a scholarship to come to pharmacy school? And guys, to be completely honest with you, I did not do that much research into scholarships. I tried for maybe a month straight. I was looking for international scholarships for school, and the truth of the matter is that there are limited scholarships for graduate programs. I noticed that it is much more limited in a graduate program than it is in undergrad programs. So I wasn't really coming up on anything. A lot of things that I saw seemed like scams to me. Like they were like, oh, enter into this thing. It's a scholarship raffle. And, you know, I've heard that some of those things work, but I just couldn't be bothered with it. So I just kind of held my head down and pushed my way through my first year of pharmacy school and worked my butt off. And then at the end of my first year, I started to listen out for scholarships that were being offered at my school. And once that was eligible, I applied. Luckily, I received one of those scholarships last year, which helped me tremendously over the past year. It was not for my full tuition, of course. It was a small percentage. Honestly, it couldn't do much towards my tuition, so I kind of used that for pocket money and for, you know, just my bills and those little expenses that I had on the side. So you can always go ahead and search for yourselves, but I think your best bet is when you're in the program, it's much better because you're here, you're local, and you have more access to emails and people telling you, you know, what's out there. Another question that I got was in regards to immigration processes, just asking about being here on a student visa, if it was difficult, etc., etc. To be honest, I think it's easier for you if you've had a visitor's visa, because you will be required to come here for like an interview, if you have to do the PCAT, stuff like that. As well as I do have a few students who came here and did English first and then sat their TOEFL before they transitioned to pharmacy school. So you'll need a visitor's visa for that. In regards to the student visa, once you've been accepted to the school and you have your loan or your proof of how you're going to pay for school, the next thing that you're going to need are actual personal funds. So you will need like a bank account that shows that you're able to pay rent and pay your bills and feed yourself, and you basically won't come here and not be able to fend for yourself. You know, once you don't have any violations in the US, or they don't have any concerns about you, you know, you weren't doing anything illegal, then you should be fine getting the student visa. It wasn't that bad. In terms of restrictions, when you get here to the US, you can't work, or you can work, but you can only work on campus and you can only work a certain amount of hours. So don't come here expecting to be working every day of the week and feeding yourself by going to work here. One, it's not feasible with pharmacy school because you're going to be so busy, and two, it's just not allowed. You're not going to get enough hours. I am lucky to work as a tutor. I work for about 10 hours per week, and you know, it's been great. I try my best to balance my time, but it does get overwhelming sometimes. The money that I make from tutoring, it is not enough to do anything. It honestly can't do anything but buy me makeup, but it still helps at the end of the day. So those are also things that you guys have to think about. So now that we're done talking about money and I'm done stressing and thinking about all the debt that I'm in, the last thing that people ask me about is just the manageability of the program. Is it difficult? How am I finding it? And let me say, it is difficult. It is a doctoral program. You're gonna be doctor of pharmacy. It is hard. It takes a lot of time, grit, energy. Safe to say, my school prepared us so well. We got a great foundation in Jamaica. Honestly, I think it is manageable for most people that I've come across. If you've already done a master's or you have a bachelor's in a high science degree, you will be fine. It just all comes down to your studying habits and your persistence and your time. You literally have to put pharmacy school first. I've said this a tons of time before. You can't go into your PharmD program, you know, thinking about work or focusing on other things. You have to put the school work first, and then everything else comes second. And if you do that, you're going to be successful. I mean, I'm fortunate. I put school first. I go really hard at school. When I say I go hard, I go hard. And it has paid off so far, and I'm managing it just fine. So I think you guys will do just fine too. So that's it. That kind of wraps up most of the questions that I have been asked. I hope that it helps. I threw a lot of my, 2 cents in there. But I really hope that this was insightful and valuable for you guys. I'm always willing to share this information. Some people are, ashamed that they have to take a loan to go to school, or, they're ashamed that this is, whatever the situation is. But I can't be ashamed of bettering myself. I can't be ashamed of taking a step to making my future better for me. And I know that the decision that I made is going to help me in the long run. For me, I know that within a couple of months, I'm gonna be done, and I would have set up myself for the future. And I hope that whoever is watching this video and thinking about coming into the program, I hope that those are some of the things that you are thinking about as well. And I hope that you want to set up yourself and your family for the long run. I hope that this video was informational and I hope that you found some value in it. If you did, go ahead and like this video and comment. Let me know if you're thinking about joining pharmacy school, if you're an international student, so what are some of the concerns that you have. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video that I do. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.